Okay, very good.
Sure. So the screen that you're seeing now is the agenda screen, right?
Yeah, we see the agenda screen.
Awesome. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining. I guess we can get started with this topic. I'm going to take like about 15 to 20 minutes, like approximately 15 minutes of your time, just keeping it short for the sake of time. I'm Saishruti Swaminathan and I work as a data scientist and developer advocate in IBM Kodai team, which is Center for Open Source Data and AI Technologies. And today I'm going to introduce you all an open source toolkit for R that will help in detecting and mitigating bias in machine learning models and data. So quickly going over what we are going to see now, we will see what responsible AI is and why it is important, and have a very high level overview of AI Fairness 360 toolkit in R, and then have a quick example of the tool usage, and we will end with resources that you can use to join LFA Trusted AI Committee discussion and know as well as contribute to the Trusted AI projects. So starting with responsible AI. First, AI opportunities. AI is incredibly important and we interact with them every day. You know, right from traveling, when you are traveling, you are getting intelligent tool that to travel faster. And also in our, for example, in our emails, right? The spam filters, autocomplete option, and so on. So we keep interacting with a lot of AI systems on a daily basis and we enjoy them. So as a user, this is the criteria, and as a company, incentives are around the revenue, right? So we make better products, more efficient products using AI technologies. So in 2018, McKinsey estimated that by 2030, AI could add $13 trillion to global economic output, and definitely there are so many opportunities in the field of AI. But the opportunities come with a risk as well. So what are the harm to users, right? So let's say the data that you are using to train the model has some bias and it is being reflected to the algorithm, right? So this might cause, for example, a loss of opportunity. Let's say AI system is, picking up your resume and going over it. Who knows if there is a bias in data? That could be a biased hiring as well. A loss of liberty could happen. For example, could be over policing and even loss of life. Because if there is any error or bias in the clinical diagnosis, it can even cause loss of life. Now let's see how it can harm to the business, right? Let's say you have a bias system. It can cause harm to the reputation of the brand, loss of public interest, regulation backlash, and so on. So there is no one solution to it, but one possible solution is to build, responsible AI system, which is in our hands for sure. So an example could be, having proper regulation like GDPR and practicing like building ethics board, having a trusted AI, you know, committees, and then talk about it, educate about it, and work on, building a better system. So next, I hope like you all remember the data science pipeline which Nick was talking about. Now I'm going to quickly go over the responsible AI pipeline here. So we have 5 components. So design component, make it human centric, right? You have to know who is going to interact with your system and whom you are designing for. What are the values of the user for whom you are designing for? Have all this in your mind when you are making a decision, right? And you have to think about what your AI model is optimizing for and make sure the design criteria align with your values. The second one is data. Think if your data is a good representative of the population, and if there is any personal identifiable information, they must be protected. And the most important thing is have records of the data backstory, right? If there is any changes to your data, if there is an addition, deletion, keep all the records in hand for the repeatability and auditing purpose. The third component is a model. So we should have the ability to explain why we get certain outcome, right? Let's say I'm building a credit card scoring system. It is giving me a negative outcome. I should know why I'm getting a negative outcome. So we should have that ability, and it should be fair. Race, gender, sexual orientation, and other proxies should not be used to inform a decision, because they violate regulation and it can create an unfair system. And the fourth component is monitoring. Let's say you have done with your model. When you're rolling out, make sure you have adequate test, you have performed all the tests, and you have individually verified all the components of the model. And not just during the rollout part, you have to continuously keep evaluating the model performance and fairness, because over the period of, you may not release a biased model, but because of the feedback loop over the period of time, your system might lose its fairness, and it can give you a faulty prediction, right? And the last component is the accountability. Make sure your system is transparent, keep all the records, privacy policies open, and let's be be clear about the responsibilities, right? Like who is maintaining the roles of viewing the regulation and so on. So these are the 5 components of the responsible machine learning pipeline. Moving on. So I'm ending this responsible AI part with the benefits. So what are the benefits we get? So we prevent the scaling of bias or harmful stereotype reinforcement in our application, and we built an inclusive product. By this, we ensure your product has a large reach among a diverse audience, and we have more delighted customers, of course, because your product aligned with their values, and that's a responsible branding. Now, I'm going to quickly talk about the LFAI Trusted AI Committee. So LFAI, as you all know, Ibrahim gave an excellent overview of the goals and the groups under LFAI, and also with the projects. So it's an umbrella foundation of Linux Foundation. LFAI aims to create a sustainable open source ecosystem by open source AI, ML, and deep learning projects. So LFAI Trusted AI is a global group under LFAI, and it focuses on infusing trust and transparency to AI application. So to talk about very high level scope of Trusted AI Committee, the first one, we define policies, guidelines, tooling, and use cases by industry with a motive of creating responsible and trusted AI applications. Second, this is badging process for open source project that we create that meet the trusted AI policies and guidelines as defined by LFAI. So recently, IBM has donated 3 of their trusted AI projects to Linux Foundation AI in July 2020, and they are currently being incubated. The 3 projects are AI Fairness 360, AI Explainability 360, and Adversarial Robustness Toolkit. And focus of this day is on AIF, which is AI Fairness 360 Toolkit. So AI Fairness 360 package is available in both Python and R. So what it contains, right? It contains a set of metrics and a set of algorithm that will help you detect if there is any bias either in your data or in your model. And if you find any bias in your data or your model, there are tools, there are algorithms that will help you mitigate the bias. So we have over 70 metrics for examining bias and 10 algorithms for mitigating bias. Let's just talk a bit about fairness. So the word fairness is not an easy thing to define. For say, it's a multifaceted and it depends on the context we talk. And also they are defined by the social construct. So what our toolkit will do? Our toolkit is useful for, towards achieving justice in many situations, but can't fully capture fairness in all the situations. So if you want to know more about it, it requires a broad discussion with the multiple stakeholders in your development process and get input on overall decision-making workflows. So this toolkit works when the problem you want to solve is very well defined. To help you all, we have built tutorials demonstrating different industrial use cases using the toolkit. And to help you choose a metric and algorithm that will work well with your application, there is a comprehensive guidance material along with a toolkit that you can use. So what's the goal here? Why do we develop this toolkit? So the goal here is to translate the algorithmic research from the lab to the real world, right? When we productize research, it's very important that we get feedback from the open community because this will help us go back and see what are the research gems that we have are appropriate for the enterprise. Thank you. Sure. So this toolkit can be used throughout the AI application lifecycle. You can use when you're preparing your data. You can use when you're building the model, or you can even use once you have got your trained model. And I will cover this in a minute. Yes, let's quickly go over the metrics and algorithms available in the toolkit. We have over 70 plus metrics that will help in quantifying the unwanted bias in data and model. And there are 4 categories of metrics. First is individual metrics. Let's say you want to treat every single data point in your data set similarly, like similar individual will be treated in a similar way. I'm going to give like 2 or 3 examples of the metrics. Let's say you prefer group fairness, right? The partition group, let's say you have the entire population and you have split the population into different groups, and the different groups should be treated equally and they should have a same outcome. Yeah, and just to say, like, we also have metrics to test if there is any bias present in the data or in the model, and so on. So this is a very high level metric classification, and more details are provided in the guidance and the documentation. And yes, we have different about 10 mitigation algorithm, and they can be used throughout your AI lifecycle. If you have access to your training data, you can use the pre-processing algorithm. If you have access during, yeah. So if you are able to change the learning algorithm, then you can use the in-processing algorithm. If you can only treat the learn model as a black box without any ability to modify the training data or the learning algorithm, then you can use the post-processing algorithms for mitigating bias that you have observed. If possible, all the algorithms from all the permissible categories should be tested because the ultimate performance depends on the dataset characteristics, and there is no one best algorithm independent of the dataset. So AIF 360 toolkit in R currently has 5 of the algorithms in the version 1, and the other algorithms are about to release in the future versions. So how do you use AIF 360 in R? So there are 2 ways that I'm going to propose now. You can directly install the package in your machine, or you can use Docker to install the package. So I think we'll be sharing this presentation as well. I have provided steps for using Docker. I mean, just running a Docker container and then using the package inside. So first you install the Docker, and then you start the container, and then you open and use the credential to get into. So I have already, I'm running a Docker container now, and this is how it will be. It's very similar to how you use your RStudio locally. And if you go to the README of the GitHub AF360R, we have a detailed steps of how to install. In case you are experiencing any trouble, we have some suggested steps here that you can follow to get started with the toolkit. And I will share the script as well. So this is a very simple example script using one of the UCI repository data, which is the adult data set. And we have provided detailed instruction like how to use, how to get started, right? Let's say you have a data set. First, you need to convert this data set into something that into AF360 compatible data set. I'm sure like I'm just it's bit a lot of information now, but if you go through the documentation, it's very well written and it's very easy to get started with. And now we calculate if there is any bias in the data set. Let's say I have observed some sort of bias, and now I will start using an algorithm to try and mitigate the observed bias. Here I'm using an in-processing algorithm, adversarial debiasing. And once it's an in-processing algorithm, so I do when I'm building the model. So once I have the model, I will try to predict, and then I will again check if there is any change in the bias, if the model is fair. So it's a very simple example. I will share the script with you all to go back and test this. So I would like to end with these 3 resources, which I think is extremely important. For the sake of time, I know this is a lot of information in like 10 or 15 minutes. But if you want to have a very detailed discussion, it could be a technical discussion or you want to start contributing for anything, please get into the wiki page of Trusted AI Committee and join to the mailing list, as well as subscribe to the calendar so you can be a part of the Trusted AI discussion. I have pasted this link in the chat as well so that it's easy for all of us to access it. And we have 2 groups. The one is a user group, other is a principals group. So principals group focus on defining ethics, guidelines, principles for the trusted AI, and users group define and implement trusted AI use cases. So if you want to join the use case group, principals group, there's a separate set of instruction that you can follow to add yourself to the principal working group discussion. And here are the Slack channels for the 3 trusted AI projects that you can access and start interacting with the contributors, maintainers, committers of the projects. And finally, list of resources for you all to go back and then just think more about how the toolkit works. And if you have any question, please feel free to join our discussion thread. And yeah, thanks everyone for joining us today. I know it's a bit fast, but if you have any question, please feel free to ping me or ping us in either Slack channel or the discussion thread or on LinkedIn. Thank you.